Welcome to Often Pacing on Tab Radio Racing and Sport. Tim Walker will be joined by Matt Young and Oliver County as they delve into the form for today's Pinjarra harness meeting, as well as an early look at tomorrow's meeting at Gloucester Park. We are Often Pacing.
That we certainly are. It's a very good morning, everybody. Welcome along to another edition of Often Pacing ahead of what is going to be an exciting week. So much happening in the world of harness racing, and it's obviously headlined by the running of the second Nullarbor this Friday at Gloucester Park. And we'll set that up this morning with not only Matt and Ollie, but also Michael Radley will join us from Gloucester Park to paint the picture and what it may look like come Friday night, and also an eye towards Friday week with the Retrovision Fremantle Cup finding a new home at the back end of April. We'll get some best bets to look forward to today, Pinjarra and Gloucester Park tomorrow night, and also a look at some of the horses to follow from Friday night just gone, and we might even get some updated seedings from Ollie and Matt. But let's welcome the boys into the program. Ollie, to you firstly, a very good morning.
Morning to you, Tim, and morning to you, Matt, as well.
Great to have you on board, and also Matt Young. Good morning to you, Matt.
Good morning, Tim. Hello, Ollie. Hello, everyone tuned in.
Great to have you along. Now, Matt, just paint the picture. Friday night down there at Gloucester Park. Obviously, we had a late start with the lightning that was in the area. Certainly an eventful night with what was happening off the track. And then once we did get underway, it certainly set things up beautifully for this Friday.
Yeah, it did. The free-for-all race was what you'd expect, I guess. You could really look at it in that way. Catch a Wave, I think it was just a perfect trial for him going into this Friday night's Nullarbor, and he had a look at the track. He handled the track. His sectionals were really good. Kate Gath got a feel for the track as well, as we saw on Navy Street at odds of 80-1. So, it was good to see Kate there and Andy there on Friday night, and great to see Catch a Wave get around the track really well and heading towards the Nullarbor this Friday. It's just really exciting. It paints a picture that we're going to have a really exciting race, which the barrier draw is going to come into play so much tomorrow. Yeah, it certainly will. Well, without further ado, let's get stuck into that free-for-all from Friday night and pick up the closing stages. Diego, too good, the Sky Racing free-for-all.
Mac, and then came Armour Rhinestone. Diego is in front up towards the home turn. Catch a Wave is 3 wide. Blitzen by is bullocking into the clear as well. Armour Rhinestone, the inside. Tricky Mickey struggles a bit. And then Steal the Show, and further back is Jumping Jack Mac. Around the turn they run. Diego slipped away from them. Blitzen by trying to get into the clear. Down the outside is Catch a Wave. Diego's in front though from Blitzen by coming, and then Catch a Wave. Armour Rhinestone late. Diego's in front, and Diego has won from Blitzen by Armour Rhinestone.
We know he's so effective in that rollout in front. Ollie, you just heard Matt's summation of the free-for-all. How did you come away from that with an eye towards this week?
I think when you saw the first quarter go up at 31 and then the second quarter at 31, if you'd had any Pegs Exotics there, you would have been on pretty good terms with yourself, and it really did just set up as a total Pegs race. And Catch a Wave, the first one home off the pegs and was 3 wide as well, so I thought he was really good. And then you've got a horse like Tricky Mickey in behind that, which obviously missed out on a Nullarbor slot, but wasn't disgraced himself either. But it's amazing that one of the horses that hasn't got a Nullarbor spot was able to come out on top as favourite on Friday.
Yeah, exactly right, and that will obviously hold him in good stead for a couple of weeks' time in the Retrovision Fremantle Cup. He features in the Nullarbor Consolation this week. The nominations for that have just dropped, and there's plenty of horses that certainly would have been at home in the Nullarbor that are in that. So while we're on the Nullarbor, so last week, Matt, to you firstly, your seedings, your top 3 seedings were Minstrel, Catch a Wave, Jumping Jack Mac. Is there any reason to go away from that?
Probably not. I'm sort of giving Jumping Jack Mac benefit of the doubt with his performance on Friday. It was a trial basically. A nice soft lead time, then a soft first half, and 27 on the down the back, and on the way home it was just impossible for him. So I'm happy to keep him in the mix. I think Minstrel proved that the performance the other day is why he's the number 1 seed, and I think Catch a Wave proved that he should still be a force to be reckoned with, and is the number 2 seed going into that race. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with my 3.
Ollie, you were Minstrel, Lavra Joe, Jumping Jack Mac. Do you see any reason to go away from those three?
No, I think this race on Friday, another thing, it probably wasn't run at the same frenetic tempo we're likely to see in the Nullarbor, so it's hard to really say what horses would have done off the speed had there been a stronger tempo. Jumping Jack Mac, he was 3 wide and then he was pushed 4 wide and then he was pushed 5 wide. So for him to not be beaten too far in the end was probably a pretty good effort. And then I think Catch a Wave could nearly have snuck into third, but I'm happy to leave him a close-up fourth in those seedings.
Yeah, so am I. I'm going to stick with Jumping Jack Mac. I just think that it can go right for him on the night this week and he can be a Nullarbor winner. Hot and Treacherous, I'm holding him at 2 and then Minstrel at 3, so there's no reason for either of those two to go away from their spots, having not raced on Friday night. All right, just quickly, let's get some horses to follow from Friday night. Matt, to you first and foremost, how did you view the balance of the meeting?
Yeah, I found it a little bit tricky to find horses to follow out of the meeting from Friday night, so I only labelled 2. I mean, you could have Armour Einstein in the mix. He'll probably find a suitable conditioned race soon, where he showed on Friday night. He went to the line with the plugs in that. He's ready to rock and roll and win a race. But I thought Our Lady Jen's performance was pretty good, and another sedate tempoed race. I think Our Lady Jen was able to carve out some pretty solid sectionals. So put her in as a horse to follow, and I thought Skylord as well. He got into the clear late, but I just like the way that he closed off his last little bit, and he's had 3 runs back from a spell, but I think he's just trending in the right direction, that we should see him back into the winners list pretty soon. It is tricky for him because he's on a harder mark, but I think we'll see him run a pretty good race in his next couple of starts. Yeah,
there's no shortage of talent there. Armour Einstein, Our Lady Jen and Skylord, the last of those ones that Matt was mentioning. Ollie, what about you?
In race 8, Acuto I thought was fantastic. Got a long way back on the fence. The winner was super impressive, Celestio Matuka, but Acuto was flying home late and ran past horses like Jetstar, Dominus Factum. So I thought it was a really good run from Acuto, and he obviously would have won if the winner wasn't there. And then in the trot, I thought Marengo Bay was absolutely outstanding. I thought after he made the mistake just after the start, it was just about curtains for his winning chances. But in the end, he's caught them up, he's kept chasing, and he's driven through the middle in the end. And I think if he did get clear late, he probably wins the race. So pretty incredible after the ground he lost early. And then in race 11, I thought My Little Big Man, his previous run was pretty disappointing, beating 40-something metres. And then on Friday, he sustained a really long run and was right in the finish in the end, and just beaten by a horse that got the really soft trip on the pegs in the end, but DJ's Boy.
All right, so that is for Ollie there, Acuto Marengo Bay, My Little Big Man. All right, let's turn our attention then to Pinjarra today. And Ollie, we'll let you open the batting here. So your first best of the afternoon is going to come up in race number 3.
In race number 3, we got Go Mario, which draws the pole here. He's been racing really, really well for Dylan Edgerton Green. His last few runs have been fantastic. The last time he landed the pole, he handed up to a pretty smart horse in Cabochon and was able to follow him most of the way. Dropped him in the end, Cabochon, but that's no disgrace in a race like this. And he was able to beat Raja Rocks home, who's since gone on to win a maiden. So I thought Go Mario over the short course would just be able to lead and should be winning from there the way he's been going.
All
in
right.
Race
4, yeah.
V for Victory, another horse that draws the pole, drew terribly first up last start for 2 months, ended up fall back the pegs, and then was held up a few times looking for runs late. He's got fairly good gate speed, so I thought he'd have options from the inside. Should be better off for the run, and I thought he looked a decent 1x3 type bet.
Okay, a little 1x3, and leave us with race 6.
And then in race 6, Dr. Catherine, I was really impressed by her effort last start. She fired across at the start, ended up handing over to Inner Wink, and she was held up pretty badly at a vital stage by the tiring leader, and Starlight Dream had all the momentum up out wide, and they ran home a pretty slick last half there as well, and she was still fighting out the finish right down to the line. So I thought if she could get over again and then possibly lead or take a sit on the right horse, then she could go really close at decent each way odds.
All right, so Go Mario in race 3, V for Victory on the 1x3 basis, and Dr. Catherine in race number 6 as well. And Matt, we just spoke about that a few moments ago on the Sports Daily. This is a good race number 6, and that's where you want to start this afternoon.
Yeah, absolutely, and I agree with Ollie 100%. I think Dr. Catherine's going to be really hard to beat in this race, but I just thought that the price that's going to be dished up, I thought she was just a really good each-way play. I thought she could use that speed, get across to the lead, and then they've got options from there. They could take the cover and have the last crack at them through the sprint lane, or lead and try and test their hand out in front. So they've got options, but I think what we saw last week was just an indication that she's added another string to her bow, and she's not far off winning a race. She can make her own luck with that gate speed. So Dr. Catherine for me each way in race number 6.
All right, now race number 7, you were keen. Jill Mack, obviously, a few weeks ago in the race for Roses. Do you go again today?
Yeah, look, I'm pretty keen on Jill Mack. I think this is a bit similar to a bet that I had last week. Happy to back one strongly and then save on another. I was pretty keen on Jill Mack. I thought she could jump to the lead in this, and if she led, I think she'll win over the short course stands. She's going really well. Her run, she was involved in that lead time at Gloucester Park in the race for Roses, and still had the temerity to fight on in the concluding stages when getting out late. So if she got out earlier, she probably goes close to winning. And I thought, if not her, you probably save on Gov Stars, who is the other likely horse that could run to the top. So those are the two that I thought you could have going into that race. Main play Jill Mack, save on Gov Stars in that race, because I thought one of the two would lead, and whichever one leads I think will win.
All right, and race number 8. This is an interesting one as well. So this will be the last of your plays for today.
Yeah, 12 o'clock rock each way in this race. I think this horse is going to win one very soon. It performed really well last start at about 60 to 1, probably about $10 today. I just thought each way, probably a 1x3 type bet. Happy to play 12 o'clock rock. I think we'll be seeing her with a big spacious track and a long straight at Pinjarra, really coming home powerfully.
All right, the 1x3 play on 12 o'clock rock in race number 8 for Matt, to go with Dr. Catherine in race number 6, Jill Mack in race number 7, and the save on Gov Stars. Ollie going with Go Mario in race 3, V for Victory on the 1x3 basis in race number 4, and singing from the same hymn sheet as Matt in race number 6 with Dr. Catherine. All right, so just a casting our mind back to last week, and pays to follow. So Ollie threw out Starlight Dream at Pinjarra last Monday, and Matt, like you said, it worked well for you last week with Rock and Roll Sass and saving on Alta Queen. So it does pay to follow the boys, and we're going to follow them as well to Gloucester Park tomorrow night. So Matt, we'll get you to go first this time. You're not wasting any time. Straight to the opener.
Yeah, like the opener, got a good warhole here. I just thought this is a really good race for him. He's got good gate speed. I think he's been getting closer to his better form, and in this race he looks really well suited. So I think over the mile he can use that gate speed, he can lead, and I think he should be able to get the job done. And if by any miraculous standards Trip Bang Bang opens up better than even money a play, so I'd be snapping that up pretty quickly as well, because he's not going as bad as his numerical form suggests, his last couple, and he's going to get the perfect run. But I think got a good ball hole. Race 1, number 1's the way to go. All
right, and fire away with race number 3.
Yeah, another one that I thought could lead. I really liked the performance of Walsh first up. Thought it was good. This looks a really suitable race. Looks like he should be able to find his way to the top. Strip's a little bit fitter. He's got the speed to lead. He's just coming back through the classes nicely, and I think he'll win this race. So race 3, number 2, Walsh. Hopefully, though, they're both half decent odds to have a decent bet on. If not, just couple them up. But race 1, number 1, and race 3, number 2. All
right, and Ollie, this is where you'll get involved now. Your first best will be in race number 4 tomorrow night.
In race number 6, I may have sent you the wrong numbers, giving you a dud steer.
Right, race number 6. Start us off there then.
Cab Sav, 2 runs back from a spell, has been really good, I thought. Just hasn't drawn the barrier to figure it all in the finish, and has still fought on gamely. Backs up again after Friday night here, and looks just a really, really suitable race. But she might go up pretty short, so I think she could be a multi-builder. Or the other way I thought you could play it would be the 1-2 Quinella. I thought Chow Babe was much better last start, and it was a bit heartbreaking for those that took $71 once she hit the front. She stopped to walk, but I think with a helmet to follow, she'll be really good here.
All right, so that is Cab Sav. Now, what about race number 7 as well? This is an interesting race for the fillies and mares.
In race 7, Sister Sammy, I thought was just outstanding last start. As soon as she worked over to the breeze, she started putting a little bit of pressure on the leader, and eventually the leader cracked and she was still fighting up the finish late. She was nabbed late by Mar Beach Sam, who I think is a pretty smart horse in his own right, and he had the real soft trip, fall back the pegs there. Not sure exactly where she lands early, but I think however this race plays out, she'll be really, really hard to beat Sister Sammy.
All right, that's in race 7. Cab Sav there in race 6 as well. You mentioned Matt going good, got a good war hole, and then Trit Trit Bang Bang place heavy there in race number 1. Certainly keep an eye on the markets when they do open. Maybe if you're getting even money, that could be a good way to play race number 1 as well. Walsh, race number 3 there. So that is a look at Pinjarra and Gloucester Park. All right, Ollie, we're going to hear from you again on Thursday night on Talking Trots with the team, and you'll be giving your final thoughts ahead of the Nullarbor there and also towards Friday night. It's going to be a fantastic night, and your thoughts on it, as always, will be essential listening on Thursday.
Looking forward to it. Thanks very much, Tim.
Have a great weekend, Matt, as well. So Tab Radio down there at Gloucester Park on Friday evening. You'll be spearheading the coverage. We'll have Trent Cooper down there and plenty of special guests as well. It'll be must-listen radio with yourself and Trent on Friday night, and hopefully plenty of winners there on Nullarbor night.
Yeah, really looking forward to it, Tim, and it's been a great concept that we've been able to produce with Tab Radio in the recent couple of years with some of the big features. So, yeah, really looking forward to it. That'll be kicking off before race number 1 on Friday afternoon, Friday evening. And
we'll do it all again the week after as well with the Retrovision Fremantle Cup. You have a good week, Matt, and we'll stay close to you throughout the course of the week as we hopefully find the winner for the second Nullarbor.
Cheers, mate.
Matt Young with his look at Pinjarra and Gloucester Park, and also an eye towards this Friday night. We'll take a very short break. When we come back, Michael Radley will join us and we'll get the very latest from Gloucester Park in the build-up to the second edition of the Nullarbor.
On Tab Radio, Racing and Sport, this is Often Pacing.
Great to have your company on this Monday morning as we build up towards Pinjarra this afternoon. Not too far away from the opener. All of the action here on Tab Radio, Racing and Sport, Gloucester Park tomorrow night, and then we roll into Friday night. And it's great to have from Gloucester Park with us on the line, Michael Radley. Good morning to you, Michael.
Morning, Tim, and all your listeners.
It's a great week in store. Nullarbor Year 1 was a beauty, albeit the weather didn't play its part, but it looks like, touch wood, it's going to this year.
Yeah, it's amazing, Tim. It's a week later than it was last year, and if you remember, we obviously got rain, and on Friday night it was pretty much the same thing. It was we were delayed by storms, and it was raining, and the next week after that it was almost 30 degrees. So I'm hoping the same thing happens this year, and we've got the beautiful weather coming into Friday night. Because I tell you what, Tim, it's a great race we've assembled on Friday night. The slot holders. And the horses, it's a magnificent race and can't wait for it.
Yeah, so Blitz and Buy was that last piece of the jigsaw puzzle that fell into place on Saturday morning. If we rewind 12 months, now Magnificent Storm is the obvious omission from the race, but what you touched on there about it being a great race, and we heard from Mike Reid this morning on the Sports Daily as well, are we potentially looking at one of the best races that Gloucester Park has seen this week?
I think so, and the fact that it's 10 runners, so every runner should get their chance. But the quality of horses this year, notwithstanding the Magnificent Storm's not in the race, we've got a Miracle Mile winner in there in Hot and Treacherous, a multiple Grand Circuit place getter in Spirit of St. Louis. They actually quineled it a couple of years ago, the Miracle Mile, also. You've got Hot and Treacherous, who's on the rise in the free-for-all ranks on the east, coming over to take over our best horses, and Minstrel's back to his best. We've got Lavra Joe, who, he seems to be back to his best. And we've got a superstar in the making in Never Ending, taking that first leap against the real good horses after Bunbury. And, it's got all the makings of a great race, and can't wait for the barrier draw tomorrow.
Yeah, so that will take place tomorrow at Gloucester Park. Then obviously eyes towards the Western Trilogy launch on Wednesday. Just on Friday night, for those that are listening this morning and thinking about heading down, tell us why we should be going down on Friday night, because it's not just the outstanding racing we'll see on track.
Yeah, not just the racing, although saying that, we've got the $1.25 million Tab Touch Nullarbor. We've got the Consolation, which is the Parliamentarians Cup, and we've also got a Group 2 for the Mares in the Empress Stakes. But off the track, we've got a lot of food trucks. We're going to cater for a lot of people, and there's going to be a lot of from around the world as well. We've got Turkish, we've got Thai, we've got Mexican, we've got Moroccan food that'll be there for all the crowd. We've got plenty of bars open. And, of course, a DJ on the track. He'll be pumping out plenty of tunes for you, Timmy, on Friday night. I don't know what your genre is, but we'll get something that you like as well as what everyone likes. Yeah. And the fireworks after the last. There's going to be fireworks on the track and fireworks after the last. But it's just going to be a great night. And the positive build-up to it as well. There's been so much positive publicity and positive chat around the race, and I can't wait for them to get to the track on Friday night and do battle.
Yeah, happy to have a DJ there busting out some music. I'm sure there'll be something for everyone there, and those food trucks as well. They do sound magnificent. We'll have to try them out throughout the course of the evening as well. So then to fast forward a week now and having the Fremantle Cup, the Retrovision Fremantle Cup, a week after the Nullarbor, and we're going to see these East Coasters have a couple of goes at Gloucester Park. Is it your expectation as well that the Fremantle Cup, it's going to find its place and find an important place in the not just the WA harness racing calendar, but the Australian racing calendar, that it can attract some of the nation's best pacers going forward?
Oh, I think so, and that's one of the reasons that we've put it with the Nullarbor, because we knew that the interstate runners would come for the Nullarbor, being $1.25 million. And also it's probably going to be easy to get them here with the Rawa flight that comes over, because it's just too hard in other areas if you're not on that flight. So we knew that the added bonus of a Fremantle Cup would definitely get a couple across the line, and it seems to have helped with certainly Catch a Wave and Hot and Treacherous, and Spirit of St. Louis, all three, are coming over for both races. So we always knew that, and it's a completely different race to the Nullarbor. It goes to 12 runners. There's a couple that come in. There'll be at least one or two that go out, including Never Ending won't be going around the Fremantle Cup, but certainly at this stage. So it's a completely different race and sets up completely different. So the two, the dynamics between the two races are really good. So yeah, looking forward to this week, and then the Retrovision Fremantle Cup the week after just adds, just a great carnival type atmosphere for Gloucester Park and harness racing in WA.
Fantastic, and we're looking forward to being down there on Tab Radio. We'll have tickets to give away to Gloucester Park on the Sports Daily throughout the course of the week, and then obviously on the night itself we'll be down there as we were on Pacing Cup night, and looking forward to that. Well, good luck for the week ahead. Let's hope that we're able to get a big crowd on track there on Friday night, and the clear air, the importance of the chasing being run and won on Thursday night, that clear air, that's certainly going to help Gloucester Park as well on Friday night, and all eyes towards that as the second leg of the Western Trilogy. And we'll also hear from you on Talking Trots on Thursday night.
Yes, we certainly will. Mortz will be in fine form. He'll be really excited with two runners going around in the race. But and tomorrow the barrier draw, Tim, it will be streamed live on the Gloucester Park Facebook page. So obviously it's really important, and no doubt there are plenty of people interested in seeing how the barriers fall. And so we'll stream it live on the Gloucester Park Facebook page tomorrow. It's just after 1 o'clock. So about 1 o'clock or just after, we'll be conducting the barrier draw tomorrow. All the connections will be there, and really looking forward to it. It's getting closer. There's plenty to do in between now and then, but it's certainly going to be a great night Friday night. Yeah,
try and enjoy the week in and amongst all of the hard work that does go into it. Thanks for your time this morning, Mike.
Good on you, Tim. Thanks, mate.
There's Michael Radley with us on the line. All right, that brings us to the end of Often Pacing once again this morning. We'll have a full recap of Nullarbor night next Monday morning, and obviously we'll have that item. Oh, it's the Retrovision Fremantle Cup. Good luck to everyone that has got a runner in the Nullarbor. Hopefully you were able to come out on top. The second edition of it, it's going to be fantastic. I'm going to leave you in the capable hands of Leia Ernest for race day. Have a great day.
For free and confidential support, visit gamblinghelpline.org.au.